What's going on, child? It's your most favorite diabetic YouTuber in the whole entire world, back with another video. Not a day or actual for y'all, but of course this one's a little bit different. And I was wondering a little bit different because, well, I seen this one pop in my timeline and I'm like, yeah, why not? This seems like it's reaction worthy because apparently Cameron is being canceled / they're trying to cancel Cameron because he decided he was gonna go do an interview with one of I'm going to quote him as one of Diddy's freak-off friends, or alleged freak-off friends, but yeah, the Punisher, I believe, is what he goes by, which I ain't gonna lie, wow, what a name, what the hell, I can't believe this is life. But apparently, he went on an interview with him and, you know, was asking him questions and all kinds of stuff, and one question really set the internet off, / you know, women and just people in general, and that's when Cameron allegedly asked the man, what Cassie's Thang is like, or was like, would be more specific, because I doubt he knows what, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, apparently he asked him what that thing was like. Now, given the circumstances around the whole trial, I completely understand why people would be outraged, of course, but at the same time, me being me, yes, she's a victim, but at the same time, she's not as innocent when it came to them party times, but, you know, that's not my opinion, more my job to talk about here. So, at the same time, you know, I get where it's outlandish ask questions to ask out loud, but I'm just gonna be honest with you, low key, I think a lot of people might have been thinking it. Me, I wasn't thinking it until now, but yeah, I'm kind of curious to know what he's got to say, if I'm going to be honest with y'all. But yeah, he's just, to me, it just seems like he asked some hornball question and people just don't like it. I don't know if it's necessarily cancel worthy, but we're going to find out. But with all that said, shout out to Polite Flocker for the video react too. Of course, go check the channel, go subscribe, go like the video, go do all the goodness, of course. But before we get any further, say a couple things. One, this is all allegedly, and also it is all love, no hate. Now, of course, I'm going to make my jokes be brutally honest, and I can't lie to y'all, I am a little bit of arsehole, but if it was hate, beef, or anything crazy like that, I straight up admit it. But one more time, all love, no hate. Alright, child, no more hesitations. Let's get into the video now.
Cameron is getting a lot of backlash for an interview he did with a man that Diddy paid to be involved in a rendezvous with him and Cassie.
His friend.
In the transcripts that you would say that it was just a scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Nah, it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so 10 times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
9 times.
The first time. And it was offered, yo. But I was so...
He said it was offered.
Like, this wasn't my hustle, right? So right. I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple and they want to do some voyeur scene. So we did the like set up on the couches, the baby all rubbed down or whatever, and then at some point Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. Yep. She left the room to talk to him, and she came back like, yo, that was perfect, we happy, we good. And then she said to me, yo, do you want to finish? Meaning, you know, I guess, do I want to bust a... You know what I'm saying? And my first example, you know, I'm trying to be professional. Like, I'm
man, why not?
This ain't about me, and I just left, you know. But she did say, all right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay? I'm like, yeah, I just got $2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So I'm not, of course, I'm down.
$2K. I might have failed for that one too, low key.
Trying to be on some professional.
Right. Was baby oil mandatory?
Mandatory, yeah.
Mandatory. God dang.
I don't know what people were expecting exactly from Cameron. Were they expecting a Barbara Walters-esque interview where essentially like Cassie is being exalted up as the victim?
Yeah, they go check out the whole thing.
Sympathy and a prayer for Cassie after 30 seconds of talking about what she endured. Yo, Cameron makes content for the average street dude, bruh. Cameron says and think like the average street dude, bruh. So Cameron is going to ask the questions that the barbershop is wondering. And almost immediately, bruh, Cameron got to the nonsense, bruh.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean, the whole time, that's what I thought it was.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
You keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're going to step it up to
cuckold. Gonna be me.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came back.
You know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So They downplay
Sounds
with
snazzier.
I'm just avoid. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur, I mean, you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So
this is not something you would hear on Pierce
Oh,
Morgan, but
God.
Cameron is correct. I do believe that Diddy and Cassie was trying to mask up what it really was. Diddy coming from the urban environment, Diddy being a mogul in hip hop, Diddy having to run around hip hop with acting super masculine. Both parents coming from the hood, both parents was really treacherous. Diddy being around gangsters his entire life, he probably didn't want to come to the realization that he's the poster child for that. Because when it comes to cuckold, a lot of people assign those attributes to white men. Very seldom
Yeah, he took Adam 22's position for
somebody
sure.
like him being that. Now, I don't know if it's Diddy just smashed 1,000 women and automatically began to, crave certain things, or if he was just born. Cameron then proceeded to ask the Punisher a question that I believe a lot of his demographic wanted to know. Not me, not Flacco, because when I think about somebody like Cassie, well, one, I don't really find Cassie that attractive, to be honest. But when I think about what essentially she was saying she had to endure, or the accusations she's making about it not
Saints Row 2 song, Cassie, maybe.
I'm not even going towards anything for self-gratification, right? Because when I hear about Cassie talk about her experiences, talk about how, she did not want to do this consensually, I'm not thinking about the sexual part of things, bro. I'm thinking about the abuse. But Cameron asked a question that made people think he didn't care about Cassie's experience.
How was that?
No, why we get hit with an ad right there? I'm running that shit back. We gotta run that back. I hope it don't mess my shit up.
Cameron asked a question that made people think
he
didn't care about
this
Cassie's
was the money question.
How was that though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the good?
Even if it was fire.
Political shit. We was Harlem time, man. You 39th Street or 40th was the how was that man?
I know it's a serious thing,
bro,
but
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse, because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like,
I'm not gonna say Cameron asking how good a victim's is appropriate, because it's not really appropriate in the grand scheme of things.
No,
but you gotta know your audience, bro. Cameron audience thinks that's the most insightful, that's the most hilarious, that's the most.
It was funny, but still fucked up. Interview. Yes,
that's
I laughed
what
at
they
it.
Think. So, should Cameron, I guess, cater to the masses or cater to his audience? Cater to your audience, right? As long as you're not doing nothing illegal, I guess, or if you're not advocating for anybody being harmed, then, I don't feel like you are doing anything that's too crazy that we need to cancel you for. But women clearly do. Now, before we get back to the interview and hear this particular dude talk about how he was paranoid, all right, that booty chaser Diddy would have gotten him mid freak off. Let's just read some of the comments of these ladies going off on Cameron. A user by the name of I'm Ginger with AJ wrote, degrading a woman who was tortured for years, shaking my effing head. Also, Tokyo says, and y'all still not gonna cancel him. Yo, there is a section of people, and I do know, like, some of Cameron's audience don't believe that Cassie was the perfect victim, but there are people who believe, that Cassie is a victim, and she was tortured, and she underwent, like, anguish. So to kind of sexualize her or objectify her in that manner is pissing off a lot of people, bro. Right? Do I feel like Cameron is going to get canceled? No, because you can't cancel somebody that you don't support, right? You're not Cameron's audience, so hence you can't cancel Cameron. A user by the name of Trey E. Trey says, such a turnoff, so childish. When does growing up and maturity happen? Weirdo behavior. I do think Cameron is probably going to ostracize a lot of his female fan base over this. A lawyer who actually is representing a few Diddy victims, she claims that she has access, or she has a video of one of the free calls involving like a very important pop star. I don't know. People were claiming that Ariel has the Justin Bieber free call tape, but who knows? We haven't heard much about it. And she was representing a woman who was suing Chris Brown, who lied on Chris Brown, because Chris Brown showed receipts that this lady was lying, and then Ariel dropped her once it became pretty evident that she can't profit from this lady lying on Chris Brown. So Ariel has always been somebody who a lot of people have looked at with like a side eye. She claims that she wants to buy the trademark for Cameron's show and send him a cease and desist. If you think that Cameron don't got a trademark for his show, you're out of your mind, bro. It's wishful thinking, but
And
I
if you
guess
don't,
now they're
then
waging war on like Cameron and his show. Lady, run your bucks. Stated cancel the show. Where is cancel culture when it comes to protecting women? I don't see how Cameron was attacking Cassie. I don't see how Cameron was bringing harm to Cassie. Enlightened sister says Cam has a daughter. I wonder how he feel if it was his daughter who was violated and some celeb was cracking jokes. This was so whack and corny. I don't feel like Cameron was joking. I feel like Cameron really wanted to know the answer to this, right? And you see other people here who are extremely upset. I don't think Cameron was joking. I don't feel like Cameron was trying to degrade Cassie or humiliate Cassie. I feel like people in Cameron's demographic.
yeah, I think he was genuinely
Cassie was
curious
for a while.
I don't know.
And people have always fantasized or wonder what Cassie would feel like. So people like Cameron or people with, you know, a similar mindset, his audience, his demographic, they wanted to know the answer to that question.
I didn't,
I'm
but
a little younger.
I was curious once
I
I heard the
didn't really
options come
experience
up,
the
you
era
know,
where Cassie was like
or what the
the
response
young
would be.
Miami, where Cassie was like, I don't know, like the Jada Waiter and the Ari. I never got to experience that, so I never fantasized about Cassie. By the time I got older, Cassie
I just
really
heard the
wasn't hot
music
to
on
me.
Saints Row
But
playing as a kid.
Cameron's demographic grew up fantasizing about Cassie, and they wanted to know. Now, this is some form of voyeurism, so maybe, I don't know, they could probably be accused of being cunts themselves, right? I feel like the funniest part about this interview, though, is Punisher essentially expressing how worried he was for his booty, because Diddy was asking weird questions and doing weird things.
Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in, and I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold on, wait, what did you just say?
So basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay, you're saying?
Absolutely not.
Right. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Any man who is in that position with Diddy and you don't have those concerns and you not clenching your booty hole a little bit more tighter so Diddy don't get...
Oh my god. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I laughed at it and I made all my jokes and all that, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like, it is fucked up of me to do, but at the same time, it's kind of what comedy is in my mind and just in general. But I will be honest with y'all, if we waited months, maybe a year, and somebody asked this question, or if I made them jokes or I laughed at it and all that, it probably would have been more acceptable. But at the same time, I will be honest with y'all, yeah, it is real fucked up of me, of him to act. You know, I will be honest with y'all, like, never in my mind would have thought about that. Okay, like, the only reason I was curious / you know, wanted to know what the hell the dude was actually going to say once he was asked that question is because, like, I seen everybody freaking out. I figured it was going to be bad, good, something. I really didn't know what the hell was about to happen, but just this fact that it, or, you know, it actually came out his mouth. So I was very curious. Now, I will be honest with y'all, she definitely is a victim. Even though I feel like, yeah, she isn't as guilty as she is, but she definitely was abused, victimized, and a lot of worse shit. So I'm just going to be honest with y'all, like, yeah, when it comes to that aspect, I wouldn't be making fun of it. And I will admit, when it comes to the Punisher, I hate saying that shit out loud, but when it comes to the Punisher, his response, I feel like he took it more into the serious note, of course, like what people wish Cameron was doing in his interview. But Cameron, you know, I can't even blame him for doing this type of interview style. Like, he was having fun, he was joking around, and yeah, it might not came off the right way and all that, but yeah, but when it came to the Punisher, he responded with the, you know, mature, proper, and, you know, he gave I don't know what the word is. I'm not trying to say loyalty, but, you know, he gave that, like, pureness where he wasn't trying to down her. He wasn't trying to, like, make a joke out of it. He was trying to be serious about how the scenario, the scene was really weird. How he thought, like, low-key, maybe if he took his eye on, you know, off Diddy, you know, and put it on the prize or whatever the hell you want to say there, you know, he might get his, like, he, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he necessarily knew what was actually going down either, like, to that degree. So, yeah, I do have to give him respect on that factor. Now, I'm going to say it, my bad for laughing and making my jokes and all that. Yeah, I feel fucked up for doing it, but hey, I did it. Now, I get why Cameron did it as well. And really, that's all I'm going to say, but let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Also, in the comments, your boy make all kinds of videos, so comment you want to see. And, yeah, that's like I for the video. Peace.